I try to be a very punctual person, so I wanted to go at 2 o'clock, and I made it, but barely made it. Number one, still got shit to. I gotta link the person that. Hey, uh-huh. All right. I think I just fucked everything up, but I made it to going. I went live at 2 o'clock. Let's see. You're always gonna be dealing with something. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. There'll be technical difficulty. That's what Mark Passio said. Always, ooh, there's the app closing. Closed. There at the old clock, top of that hour. It's not my fault that the motherfucker crashed. And I think it would have crashed anyway. I think I should have went 5 minutes ahead. So yeah, it's still my fault. Holy crap. Who is that? Hello, Dr. Allen? If is that it? Yeah, okay. Excuse me. Greetings.
Hey, hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
This is a 420 friendly space, so I'm
Oh,
doing
okay, yeah.
Colorado
I,
kind.
I just finished recovering from mine too. I just prepped before I got on.
Right. Well, I was gonna do that, but it's been a weird day. Even though it's been a decent day, it's just been like I came out of the depths of sleep. You can see I've been up for 2 hours, 3 hours. You can still hear it in my voice. But I went to bed late. My kids are homeschooled. I work late, so a lot of times I don't get to make it to sleep till
Oh, right
two
on.
thirty.
And I just realized my camera wasn't on. Hold on a second. There we go.
You're okay. I'm gonna try to make you bigger. How do I do that? I don't usually get guests. I don't usually get anything. Oh,
No,
they brought me
I
to
hear
this
you. I
phone.
hear you.
I'm clicking you now. Oh, there it is.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, and I guess it leaves space for anybody else who might come in, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, Nan should be coming in at some point.
Nice. There we go. All right, let's get this show on the road, as they say.
Sure.
So I start off because I did write this. I have several of them. I have one that's on the website. It's way more in depth, and I didn't want to like get at you like that. I was asking shirt sizes and shoe sizes. It was more of an activist like bio, like a folder that I would have to be able to get to know people.
Yeah.
But I did pick from it. Name that you prefer.
On here, just Isle or I is fine.
I didn't realize it because I'm a 420 friendly space. That was Isle. I
Yeah.
was literally calling you Azazel for the hottest man for no
Yeah.
reason.
It's just NeverTell. It's a name that I came up with on an old Facebook account a long time ago. because I didn't want to get rid of it, and I wanted to stay anonymous, and so it just kind of followed me, and like now it's just a more of the name I prefer in my activist circles. Anonymity is the key always, right? You know?
Yeah. Um, and not just anonymity, but safety. Because Mark
Yeah,
Passio, one of my mentors,
exactly.
right?
In today's
My
world.
mentor, Mark Passio, he'll say, no, fuck that. Get in their face. Faces like, so I get it. But so that's good. And I realized it right while I was doing this bio. I was like, I'll never tell. Because the whole
Yeah,
time I was like, Azazel never tell. Like,
it's what I what I say is it's what I'm going to tell people if they ask for my name.
never. I get that too.
Yeah.
And you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to. Your age or the age you feel usually.
Um, the age the age I feel is perpetually in my late 20s, early 30s, but I'm in my mid 40s, we'll say.
Nice. I have the same sentiment. Um, and your general earthly location. You can give longitude, latitude. You can give nothing. You can say I'm
Colorado.
like
Colorado.
Colorado. Also in Colorado, as you
Roaming
well
roaming
know.
in Colorado.
It beautiful. Colorado's a beautiful place to roam. There's a guy, a minister, who's pushing around a thing. He's doing a walk. He's walking 3,000 miles for his ministry or his charity or for world peace or something. But he's in Colorado right now, and I was looking at his background, and he could see his face. I've seen him over through through two different states
Yeah.
and two or three different states. That's what I'm trying to say. And you can tell that the Colorado scenery is like he's walking, so he's just
Yeah. It's
like
different. You know,
it's different. It's washing over him. I don't know where he's from, but you can definitely tell that his face looks different in Colorado.
yeah.
Um, and what was your birthplace? You're in Colorado now. Where were you born?
I was born in New York, actually in Amityville, New York.
Nice.
Same place where the Amityville horror happened, like in that same city.
Oh yeah. And was that the same place you were largely raised?
In it West Babylon, New York, was where I was raised most of my teenage life, and then we moved to New Hampshire and all over. And I moved. I was like in punk rock bands and stuff, so like kind of bounced around the New England area for a while, and just recently decided to move to Colorado just for the mutual aid stuff.
Nice. So that was also where you were raised then too, right? Like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like raised in New York, and then we moved to New England, and then just basically stayed there. I moved to New England. I dropped out of high school in New York, but wound up graduating in New Hampshire when we moved. So, yeah, just like
I had,
New England, and then I did that. I stayed in New England for like ever, and I remember coming through Colorado when I was on tour with one of the bands, and it's a punk band, so like everywhere else is drinking, and I remember I was like, this is the one time the ratio is completely flipped, where smoking was what was offered instead of beer, and like the punk kids were all just getting, they were just getting
whacked out of their minds.
educated, yeah,
Right.
and it was just great. It was an interesting experience and a good one for Colorado, because at the time it was like 2010, and like it wasn't legal everywhere, So yeah,
Oh
yeah, it
yeah.
was cool. It was a cool experience, and now I'm here, just about 13, 14 years later, and
Yeah.
I'm looking to make a change.
Yes. And the section I'm on is early childhood. I just want to get to know a little bit more about what shaped you, because a lot of people don't know certain similarities. Like I had the experience of dropping out as well, and I was out of school for like a month, and
Yeah.
none of my friends were around. I was looking around like, well, this ain't gonna fucking work. All
Yeah.
my friends are in school, so I went back and graduated. But I did have the experience of dropping out initially, like fuck this, and then coming
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Uh, Describe your early childhood. What kind of child were you? Where you were rambunctious? Where you kept to yourself? Introvert, extrovert, extrovert?
Introverted mostly. I was very what I would now call high functioning autistic, but didn't know it at the time. So I did a lot of dreaming of like different reality than the world I was in. That's just like the way my mind's always been, and it was just even more pronounced as a child. But then as I grew up, like it became a word like ideal, and like just like utopia. All these things,
Right.
all these different words started getting associated with what I just always knew to be my reality, which was like, this isn't kind of just like, this isn't real, like not real as in real, but like there's better, there's a better world than this.
Yeah, and just for, I don't know if you know this, but as we go, Evolving Seeds has come across information, and it's data, information equals truth. Data in the correct formation, that's what information is. Information equals truth. I say that to say that, did you know this whole time we've been getting accused of been dreaming of utopia? Do you know what utopia means in Latin?
No.
It means no place. The translation is no place. It's supposed to be a place that doesn't exist, where you're reaching for something that exceeds your grasp. So whatever you come up with is going to be super great. But it means no place. It was never meant to be an insult to the idea of progress. It was supposed to be a place you pointed out the well intentioned and say, okay, well, go get your utopia, because
Right.
you're going to reach something profoundly beautiful if you even get anywhere close to that idea.
And that's kind of where what we're trying now is like the whole idea of a new economy is the way I'm trying to frame it, because that's really what it is that we're giving up this old system, this capitalist system. It's giving up on us. Like, it doesn't even, it's an unsustainable path that it's heading for. And so rather than talk is cheap, in my opinion. I was a ex-pastor, and I did a lot of talking and a lot of telling people to do a lot of action. And when you just talk and nothing happens, it kind of grows on you, and then like eats at you. And before you know it, you're like, well, shit, if nobody else is going to do it, I'm going to do it. And like, that's where this whole idea came from. And was like, if we just had a hub and somebody that would be able to connect with everybody, with the organizations, and unite the organizations, maybe we could create our own economy of the people, like
Right.
direct demands met,
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing we talk about at Evolving Seeds too, is innovation. Like, it's weird and to sit in a space where you will say something to somebody, and there's a lot of naysaying. A lot of people have been programmed to naysay. They've been programmed to doubt progress. But there's a certain way we can go about life, that we should be going about life, to innovate, to really step into not just innovating actual inventions, but the language behind. Somebody said, when I first got on TikTok, one of the first videos I saw is this girl got shit because she made a video and said yesternight. She was like, yeah, this girl came over yesterday and blah, blah, blah. And they got mad. And they were like, but she was like, you understood me. You ain't never heard that shit in your life. And even if you've never heard it, you instantly understand what the fuck she's talking about. Why not? All this shit is made up in the first place. Why can't we innovate? So the language, and that comes from, or should be founded in knowing the language first. I tell my kids, you can bastardize anything, any word you want. Bastardize any phrase, any word, but know the correct way first. Know it, so that you can yield it, and not yield it, but wield it in the ways that you want. So it's important that we innovate, and it's time that people understand that it's their personal responsibility. The 3 seeds on our logo stand for our thoughts, emotions, and actions. That's an individual thing. But as we collectively engage in it, then we have a society, of civilizations founded on people who are aware and cognizant of their thoughts, emotions, and actions, and how they interact with them and how they interact with others, and where that's harmful and where that's conducive and efficient and abundant.
Absolutely.
And my son's up. He didn't even sleep in like an hour.
Hi, Dad. Do you know what time I woke up? I slept at 5 to 6 a.m. I woke up at 10 and 50 a.m. and I woke up at 12:50.
You're still asleep.
p.m.
Lay down. Thank you. Sorry about that. I'm doing a video right now, and it'd be super cool. Go get a blanket. Oops, sorry. Go get a blanket.
I want you to lay down on me in the couch.
I can't, because I'm doing my video that I was already doing. But go get a blanket and come lay right here, and don't interrupt the video anymore. Thank you. I love you. And I did want to ask, there's certain questions I do want to ask, because they are super important with regard to...
I'm an open book, man. Fire away.
Thank you. Were there any early childhood realizations that you had that you still remember that like shaped you? Like, oh, like, not, it could be as simple as the world's not fair, but this is why I came to that realization, or anything like that.
It was just this feeling of just never belonging. Like the black, they call it the black sheep, but like it was deeper than that for me. I like my identity. I could never really latch onto it like my other family members could, and still do. And I don't hold it against them. I even say it. I'm like I don't know why. I don't. It doesn't make sense. You guys are loving. You're caring. I just don't feel. But it's the way they the love language was different. And after a while, parents have a habit of like only seeing you a certain way and only seeing you at a certain age and only like treating you a certain way in a certain age. And unfortunately, you know, life ain't like that. You gotta, it's a balance.
I'm doing my video.
It's a balance, but what it basically taught me was that I'm different, and that I don't fit in. And I was elementary school most of those years was severe bullying, like to the point of where I had to get therapy like later on because of it. Not in the way of like school shooter shit, but like I definitely was depressed. I was definitely like not feeling like life was worth it, and that kind of followed me through junior high school and high school. And what because of like the way that I was saying about that other world mentality, that there's a better world out there. Mm-hmm. I've always interacted with people with compassion and with like this idea that that their potential, they're still real. We're all still realizing our full potential, and that's not a one and done thing. It's not like, oh, I finally achieved it. It's a lifelong process from birth to the end. And wherever the end is, like the end of our knowing as human beings, truly, like I don't know, the future is wide, and I've just always had hope. And any time that it was knocked down, there was always something there to remind me of a better world. And it kind of it did. It just like it kind of shaped me internally. And even though there was a lot of like trauma and pain and stuff, all that stuff helped me. All it did was help me connect with people that were experiencing the same, and rather than use my pain as something to constantly destroy me, I started using it as something to protect other people, and that's really where that's from my childhood experiences.
Good too, because that's one of my other questions did you have like a chaotic childhood? A lot of us do. And that trauma is in there, and it like you said, it shapes our whole methodology of how we see the world.
Like those developmental years, which is why I was laughing when your kid came over, because you're just such a good dad. Like you just did exactly like that's what if I was that kid, I would want that, would have wanted that. And that's the mentality that I have now is like, well, what would have my younger self would have been looking for, and when I find it in other people, or if I find it in that's where the community comes in. That's where the community starts.
Right. So, yeah. And it's challenging. Like,
yeah, for sure.
My son's one of the most challenging individuals I've ever had to deal with. Like he does the whole on the dot. When I get off of work, like I've never engaged in relationships where a woman was all like, "Where are you at? What are you doing?" Blah blah blah. I've never had that. If I get off at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m., he hit me up at like 10:01. Like he's hit me up saying it was 10 o'clock. It's 10:01 now.
Right. I'm calling you. You're late is what I'm telling you. Accountability.
I know, baby. I love you. And let me see. I thought he was going to be asleep. Like he said, he just went to sleep. So he should have been asleep a lot longer. But we don't sleep around here because we know what's going on in the world. Like he knows. Yeah. So it is what it is. We don't force sleep. We don't force not sleep. So not
even in the world, in Colorado right now. Like, geez, like we all got to be on our
I know. Just Colorado alone. And there's an energy when you're aware and when you're hyper aware and when you're in tune with the world and what's going on. It don't take much to wake your ass up because you're like, what's that?
Exactly. I was saying to Nan that I kept getting notifications on my phone for lightning strikes like 6 miles away, and so like I would get out of the RV, run around at nighttime because it's total dark, and look around to see if there was any orange, because if I saw any orange, I was going to get the hell out of there. Yeah, that's the reality. That's how they say it started.
Way up there too. Yeah, and the Colorado is so in it I was
Yeah.
coming home last week, and I got off work at like I got off early. I got off at 10:30. I was supposed to get off at 11, and I'm driving home all regular, and a little flicker of light catches my eye, and I look over, and there is the most prolific lightning storm going on. It went on for like 3 hours. It was thousands of strikes per hour, and I had enough time to actually go home, grab my daughter, and we just went over and just because everybody else was asleep, and we just watched thousands of lightning strikes for about 30 minutes. It was incredible. It was
And I
just
have to say, Colorado is the only state that I know of that has thunder and lightning with no rain. Like, just thunder and lightning. Like, you're like, holy cow, this is going to be like the biggest storm in the
right.
world. And then before you
Never
know it,
comes,
nothing, it's scary sounding and it shakes the earth, but like,
especially at night
oh, yeah,
because there's
yeah.
nothing. There is no rain. You're just like
Right.
you
Right. You hear
loud
the
and
thunder, you
bright.
hear the light, and I'm from New England. So, like, that was always it. It was like thunder, lightning, and then boom, like you torrential downpour, you know?
Yeah, it's amazing how reactive and active Colorado is. Let me see. Oh, were your parents or guardians authoritarian or more natural in their approach to raising you?
Much more authoritarian, more do as I say, not as I do. Um, more, I was the firstborn in my family, so as most firstborns understand, they are not that the experimental ones, but you're the first of the kids. So like the parents don't know what to do. They kind of do. They've read books, but you're the one that they got to check it out on, and they made a lot of mistakes, and there was a lot of a lot of the stuff that I didn't realize was trauma was during those years, and it wasn't their fault. They were just doing what they thought was right too. They apologized from it. They don't even remember half of it, which is even more messed up. But like,
Oh, I know.
it kind of it does that authoritarian lifestyle mixing with this fantasy life that I always knew existed in my head, but that I could see in my head, but not in the world. It just kind of helped push me into doing stuff like that. I never did drugs until I was like in my early 20s. It was just like not something I was interested in, even though it was all around me. But the authority and a problem with authority, not really so much a problem. I think that's the wrong word, but just like questioning authority and always being skeptical came from my parents and from their inability to remain consistent in their authority and the way that they punished. And by the time I was 16, I did what any kid in that situation would do, and I started running away from home and staying at friends' houses. And it's where I really, really started to understand family because I saw it in others. And so like the connection for me with people has always been really equally linked with my survival. So like I have a very strong connection with people that were like me. I was also homeless for like a week, like in a homeless shelter. Yeah, it was pretty messed up, but yeah, anyways, I'm rabbit trailing. I apologize.
No, you're okay. This is the purpose of this is not just it's to get to know you, but it's also to send out a signal flare because there's certain things that can be said and it's said. Like when I meet somebody and they know, and we just get to talking and they say they know something about the resource-based economy. Like if that's in the real world with no internet prompting and we didn't meet online and that just like I was at the hot spring about a month ago and we were meeting this guy where he was talking about MMA and he was talking about how he practices MMA, he fights, da, da, da. And I'm not hearing nothing this motherfucker saying. I'm listening and I'm hearing everything he says in a very general way. I could recap everything he said, but I don't care about a single thing he fucking said, not one. And then he goes, and then we started gotten leaning towards a political talk, and not political necessarily, but socioeconomic. And he was like, yeah, I don't really rock with socialism. I know everybody's licking capitalism balls, but I'm not really rocking with socialism or communism. He said, I'm really all about a resource-based economy like Jacques Fresco and the Venus Project. And I was like, what did you just say? Did you just mention Like, and I didn't know this dude from Adam. I'm like, if you know about a resource-based economy, I don't even know why you even brought up communism and socialism.
Right.
I guess because he knows most people don't know. So that conversation went from me like this to me like this.
Right. Now, as they say, now you have my attention.
Like, now you have my attention, and that comes with certain awarenesses, and you can only be aware of stuff from other people from what they give you. You don't have a neon sign that just went to Westmore or graduated from Harvard or has their, it just doesn't do it. So you have to ask. And I'm gonna skip some of the questions because I know we want to get into the thicket. I'll get into some more controversial shit.
Hey man, I'm in no rush. I got nothing else going on, so you could ask at fire away, man. Fire away.
My
if
son,
you want,
I actually have to. Now that he's awake, my whole structure has.
Yeah.
So because he is demanding and he will be cool and probably hang out, but man, if the nature of this this interview has gotten inherently more chaotic. It may seem like just because what you can see the card, me and you can hear the sun in the background, anybody can bust through that door now. The fucking cat, even after he left, their cat was in here just. I'm sitting here like, where'd you even come from? Y'all all was asleep. But I am, and I do have good questions. I'll run through some of them, and then if we could just pick at them.
Yeah, man. I'll try to fire them out.
I got the where you nurtured the way you wanted to be kind of influent or implied in some of the things you said. The realizations guarded. Okay. Were difficult questions welcomed in your home? Questions about the nature of reality, creation, politics, etc.
Not that they weren't invited. It was more. The conversation was very like liberal mindset of like whatever the news tells you is really what's going on, so you don't really need to talk about it other than I remember I got like briefly political during the like first US invasion of Iraq, and like that whole like idea that like the chemical weapons, and I was fearful that we were going to get bombed. I remember being young and like thinking about it and talking to my brother, but like we never had like huge political debates or discussions. It's more something that I was drawn to in my teen years and just kind of followed through because it just, when you're chasing your calling in life, like you start chasing themes of things that you just are interested in. And I knew I liked rebellion, but I didn't understand why. and I guess that's really the reason is because I believe that all people should be free, and that like you can't be free unless all people are free.
Yes, we will have some deep ass conversations because there's certain things that I've realized, and they are not, like I said, realized, recognized. I don't claim to invent a motherfucking thing, but I do have some pretty awesome discoveries. Like I've proven anarchy with math, really cool. Math equation, really short. They say things that are true intelligences in making big concepts small. So
right.
I was like, if there's this much math in creation, there has to be a mathematical equation that can legitimize authority vested in strangers or illegitimize it. And I call it the right equation. It's it's beautiful. I'll tell you later. Yeah. And you already covered that one. Were you able to express yourself relevant? What were your favorite subjects in school, if you don't mind, real fast?
Math mostly. Like
I love that equation.
Yeah, like that. Algebra I was really strong in. Some biology. My whole family is like in medical field, or has like a medical degree of some kind, whether it's a nursing or like surgical tech. They're all involved in the healthcare.
I definitely, if I had to give you a nickname, and I would never do that, and that would stick or anything like that.
Okay, I constantly get them. I'm curious.
I would call you Dr. Lawyer.
Dr. Lawyer.
You look like somebody who also could have their bar past their bar, and also somebody that has their medical license. Like,
I've lived many lives. So I'm a survivor of injustice. I was falsely accused of a crime I never did, and I had to pursue my innocence for 3 years before having to take a plea deal in order to get out of the whole thing. And I actually wrote a memoir on it, published it on Amazon, and that's it's another whole
that's
story.
when
That's
you know a
actually
motherfucker is innocent. They publish a memoir about that shit.
that's what I
Because I
was
didn't
saying. I
publish
was
the
like,
memoir when I went to prison.
that's what I was saying. I'm like, if I was going to jail for the actual crime, I wouldn't be wanting to give literal chapter by chapter details of everything that I remember from the surrounding night. So but what happens is, out of that, I now experience the criminal justice system in the U.S., the real criminal justice system, which is injustice, and
Forged by
it's
fire.
and and I'm a white presenting dude, so like like I can just I if I'm getting falsely accused, that's where it started. It was like, well, if I'm getting falsely accused, then let's go see how this is. And I from that got connected with the Innocence Project, which is like they go back with DNA evidence and try to free people. Dude, some of these cases, there are black folks in the South that they were in different states at the time with evidence they were in different states, and they are on death row for murder right now because of our system.
Like, add them to Evolving Seeds. I forgot all about them, but I am very familiar with the Innocence Project. So
yeah,
that's definitely an organization that can use some spotlight and some help.
definitely.
Because there are a lot of. See, I'm so
and they
faded,
go
I can
after the
barely spell
high
this.
profile ones. Like they go after like the ones that the person has been in jail for like 20 plus years on death row, and that they just are they haven't used up all their appeals yet, and there with this new there's a lot of laws in state to state now because of the Innocence Project that allow DNA evidence to be resubmitted for their release, for the to exonerate them, and they've had many successes. So
You know why that's important too? Because there is a bit of racial progress that happens in society, so called. And so you might be able to, if you do some shit 2 decades later, you go back, like the 80s is rife with tampering. The 80s, it was known.
Yeah.
It was standard. Listen, it was STO, standard operating position, parameters, procedure for a cop to get a pew-pew from a gang member or somebody like that, and then don't put that shit in evidence. Keep it on them, and then if they have to unalive a young black person under suspicious circumstances, they just drop that pew pew in that crime
Absolutely.
scene. Let CSI come, and they're like, well,
Yeah, it's the systemic racism is something that is so inherent in the system itself that we always go to the police and the slave catcher evolution thing, but like what we don't see is that over a period of time how it infected the criminal justice system as a whole, and that lawyers now they don't seek justice, they seek they seek guilty verdicts. That's all they care about. They don't care about whether the person's innocent or guilty. They just they need that guilty verdict to get their bonus, So like when and of course we trace it back, and it's like you keep pulling it back. It's you eventually get to colonialism, but like white supremacy and all that jazz. That's that wonderful side effects, and capitalism and all those wonderful things that come along with colonialism are just like just part of that process of why we are where we are now, why things like Trump exist, and why it wasn't.
I like how you said things like Trump, not just because that man is not human, but because you encompass the entirety of the shenanigan that is.
It is, yeah. It's greater than him
that this man produces.
It's like we looked at it. It's like looking at like something growing on your skin that for a while and just going, man, that looks really crappy. And then everyone going, yeah, it looked pretty bad. And then like next year, it's getting worse. It's like now like kind of red. And then the next year it's green and gangrenous. And then finally it bursts, right? Trump is
Keep going.
Trump is the burst. Trump is the burst. Now we get to see all the disgusting crap that's been going on behind the scenes, and nobody can say anything. And we have someone who doesn't care whether we say something or not. You know, like other presidents at least had decorum and all that nonsense to at least lie to our faces. The one thing I will say about Trump is that he at least is who he is, and he's not trying to pretend.
I don't support Trump, but I absolutely adore that he exists. I absolutely adore that he exists. Not only that he exists, he would exist. He was Biff fucking Tannen in Back to the Future. Biff Tannen's character was clearly based on Donald Trump, and it was the future. Not because Trump was Trump then and Trump was Trump now, that's part of it, but because Trump represents an archetypal, stereotypical,
yes,
motherfucking obvious, inevitable culmination of daft, blind, innovative white supremacy in full motion, unfettered, as they say.
Yeah, I mean he's the perfect lackey. He was bought and paid for by the Russian government for most of his political career, and then he went into I hated him from the age of 12 because I was born and raised in New York, and there was a show called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous with Robin Leach. And
man, I'm 42. Don't play with me. I may look young, but I'm up there.
You remember?
I dialed out on a rotary phone. Yeah,
right. You can remember these things. But he was on that show, and I was like, I just hated him. The way that his personality came across, and the way that he was just like acting and behaving on the show. It was just like I think maybe he's the reason why I just had an issue with arrogance. Like when I think of arrogance, I just think of him. You know, like because he's a narcissist and the worst kind of the worst kind of narcissism.
Donald Trump, to me, he is white. He is quintessential white, nothing more. And so I've never had a problem. I literally watched interviews with him. I never liked him. As a youth, and I knew capitalism. I was about 8 years old, knew capitalism full-fledged was trash. But I've always had a respect for anybody doing their thing. I don't care if you're a Muslim, a Catholic, if you're a capitalist.
Absolutely, yeah.
So but when he did, I know these are just movies, so it doesn't really count in the sense, but like all we've ever seen of these people is on TV in some form. But
Absolutely.
he was in The Little Rascals, and he was in Home Alone 2.
Oh yeah, Home Alone 2. I remember that one.
And he was in an interview that I remember watching before it became famous that people watch it now, where he was saying that he wouldn't run as a Republican because they're stupid, blah, blah, blah. I remember that interview. I remember watching that shit. And he was saying I would run as a Democrat, blah, 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 or he would. But he was rational. There was a rationality to his white supremacy and his capitalism and his engagements. I actually think that motherfucker, as a culmination of all of the dirt he's ever done as just a regular ass billionaire and famous person and yada yada yada,
definitely
culminated with him doing the reality show The Apprentice, with reality simultaneously ceasing to be real for any of us, ceasing to be real for him. If he's a real human being, then he's actually aging into, back in the day, 20 years ago, he was aging into a place where his mind would become susceptible to aberrant behavior. So you take an elderly person, you put them in something that's never existed before, called a reality show. The mind grabs a hold of it. It's kind of a combination of dementia and reality show syndrome.
Yeah.
And then you have a culture that has already buffed him to be the president. The Simpsons aired years ago. Back to the Future aired decades before he even ran. These are things that are telling he's just as human as any of us. So at some point, even though he's rich, he might have been sitting at home. Oh, they made a movie called Back to the Future. Hey, look, the fucking guy who they think should be the president of the fucking world is me.
Right.
Maybe I should do it.
Right. And
I'm not mad at Donald Trump. I'm not mad at Donald Trump. I'm mad at every single motherfucker on earth that supported and supports him.
That's what I was saying, man. I firmly believe that voting is a system of oppression. I think it's a game. I think it's a game that they have us play, and it's just like the dollar. The only way that the game keeps playing is if we participate. The second that we say, you know what, I'm not voting anymore, then all of a sudden they take out their weapons, both sides, and you can't vote. Well, if there's anything that goes wrong, you're the reason why. Because you could have been the person to change it with your vote. Like that's the dream. That's when we sleep.
We don't do that around here.
We don't. No. I don't vote.
Hey,
I'm trying not to, do the capitalism thing.
No, and that's beautiful because now as evolving seeds, we don't have to sit here and fucking play with because I was hesitant to even want to ask these questions and I wasn't going to. But
fire away, dude.
He said, here it is, terms and conditions about voting. Now that I know that you ain't fucking with voting, which I presumed if you're fucking with Nan, you don't, then I don't have to ask, what political orientation do you have? I can ask what religious orientations do you have, if any? What's your stance on the
my values are very much aligned with the communist ideals, economically, and then socially, social anarchy probably is the best way for it to describe how I operate, how in my now utopia. That's how I try to see myself and that's honestly right now this is the closest in my life I've ever been to actually feeling it. To actually possibly being able to do it. And even if it's is just a handful of us before I pass on, this world, that's what the whole thing is. Or we test it out. We're like, man, we thought it was going to work, but we tested it and it doesn't. Or
man, fuck that. It doesn't matter. Anything is better than this. Almost anything, because I actually, from evolving seed standpoint, I describe. Thank you. Nan's here. Hello. And you're more than welcome to jump up. You should have mod powers. I don't know, but I can definitely give you some mod powers if you don't. The capitalism is it's just a name, but the name for what it is the description of what it actually is the anti-nature. Capitalism is the name that we've given to the polar opposite of nature. And it's consistent because only sentient beings have the power to operate in a way that opposes nature. No other being has that capacity because they don't have even if they have the capacity, like an octopus might be able to, because they don't even need imposable thumbs, but you don't have the level of capacity to cognitively operate the way humans do, and you don't have imposable thumbs or fucking awesome octopus tentacles that have fucking 8 brains and shit. You can't change nature.
Right.
We can change nature because we have imposable thumbs and fucking consciousness, and we can predict shit and all kinds of fucking cognitions and fucking abilities. So only human beings or sentient beings with the ability to do so can change nature, or more importantly, or a little bit less importantly, which I guess they're in tangent, is apply an arbitrary value on nature, naturally occurring things, then erect systems that function objectively. Like they harm objectively, they are objectively unsustainable, they are objectively toxic, and then institute that as the standard. So capitalism isn't just another bad system in relation to other bad systems, dictatorships, monarchies, all kinds of other shit we can describe. It is the anti-nature, it's the polar opposite of nature, because a consciousness is overriding nature's systems, or attempting to override nature's systems, and at the same time trying to avert the objective consequences of doing so. Right. Like I can sit here and eat my shit as long as I want, and I can make an entire system of how that's the coolest thing ever that anybody can do, and that if you're not eating your shit, you belong behind bars. Right. Do all kinds of shit, but it's never gonna stop me eating that shit from having objective consequences to me and anybody that engages with me.
Absolutely.
And then I wanted to read this too, because this is our official position on Evolving Seeds. Does Evolving Seeds support voting rights? Evolving Seeds does not support voting as a means for harmonizing with natural law or producing lasting equitable change as a society or civilization. Choosing a ruler or even attempting to choose a ruler for oneself and one's neighbor is illogical and highly immoral. However, we do support strategic voting on causes, not for people, or simply voting to prevent a worse outcome than if the vote is lost. Roe versus Wade, for example. Simple.
I mean, amen. Like,
nice. And I don't know, even if you have my powers, if you can't bring yourself up, so I'm going to send you an invite so we can carry on with the conversation, but you can come up when you want. There it is. Yay, I did it. And I'm going to try to make all of our screens bigger. I don't know how to do it. And that was it for the voting part, because it allows us to really skip past a lot of bullshit. And I think I've lost my file. Where'd you go, file? Oh, I did lose it. As I gain this back, what are your present goals right now?
Present goals right now is to connect with all the mutual aid communities within Colorado, Southern Colorado, we'll say, and try to unite us so that we get an actual mutual aid network through our hub or through each other that can thrive, and we can form kind of a net so that when on a national level we finally get that conscious awareness that we're all hoping will happen for everybody, when that actually eventually does happen, a general strike is bound to be one of the things in the mix. And the one thing that a general strike will need at its heart, I believe at the heart of a general strike, is the mutual aid. Because without the mutual aid, then there's just loss. And there's people that fall through the cracks, and then we have another broken system, and we don't need another broken system. We're giving, and we're not saying this is perfect, but it's an evolving system, like it's something that we can just say, well, this is what's worked so far, and then this is what we know in theory will work, and then we put it in practice. And right now, it's exciting, Like I made a couple of videos, but one of them is like I gave $30 to somebody because they needed to get an Uber to work and back, and they had EBT, so they got me money, they got me food. Like that's mutual aid in a nutshell, right? Like, and there was no like. A lot of people confuse mutual aid with bartering, and it's not the same thing. Bartering is the exchange of equal value. Like okay, well, I'll exchange 2 cows for your 10,000 chickens or whatever. Like that.
That's how hard it is to talk about subjective value, bro.
Yeah, no.
You see how it was hard? It's like 2 cows. What do I gotta fucking compare?
Right. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. So it's like. But with mutual aid, it eliminates all that. It's just like, what do you need? Like, okay, well, what do you need? And then there's an exchange of like information. There's a collaboration between the people, and then needs are met. It isn't about a value being, the value is in that need being met. It's not in like a transactional thing, Like it's just.
That's why I don't use the word appreciate anymore, because it's an evaluation. It's a transactional evaluation. I use the word honor now. And I did want to say one thing about the word culture. Like, even in the word culture, do you know culture, how we talk about people and shit, it's a synonym for the Petri dish motherfuckers?
Oh, really?
It has to be.
Yeah.
Listen, what is a culture? It's a fucking organism inside of an environment.
A very controlled environment. Yeah.
That's what cultures are. It's a synonym. And that's one of the things we study in Evolving Seeds is fucking language. Like allowed. There's 2 fucking whole words to make that word. It's not an accident. And these words are self-descriptive because they knew that words would change over time. Allowed. What is allowed? All owed. If you're allowed to do something, then you're all owed the right to do it. If you're not allowed to do it, then you're not all owed the right. Question. Quest eye on. What is a question? It's a quest that your eye is on. That can't be a fucking accident. That many secessions, and there's more. There is so many more, bro. And they get deeper and deeper and deeper. Ignorance. Ignore and see. Ignore and see what happens. Ignorancy, bro. It gets wild. I did want to ask you, what are things that would make? Because this is a very pivotal question,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's a specific answer. There's a scientific answer to this, and there's a scientific there's an objective answer to this. But and I know you know it. I just want to present it because I want other people to be able to know. Like I want bigots to be able to know that they're a fucking bigot because they can't answer this question. What are things that other people could do that would make it incapable for you to work with them?
Well, it's funny because recent experience and just my life in general. I'm somebody that believes in equality. Egalitarian is the way I was when I was even a Christian. I believe that everybody was equal, including regardless of sex, gender, any of that stuff. But it was the theology in Christianity that forced me to behave a certain way. But like outside of Christianity, when I was in that cult, we'll call it, for 6 years, I believe in full equality. I don't judge people on appearance because, like I was saying before, I was bullied for the way I looked for most of my life. So I didn't for like most of my young life. So I don't judge others just because they look different from me, And I do take offense to people, especially when they attack the trans community. My ex-wife had come out to me about being non-binary, and it was towards the end of after we're post-Christianity, and so we were discovering ourselves for the first time because we were no longer under the strong control of Christianity, and we're finally able to just be ourselves. And she wound up coming out. That was not the main reason for the divorce, but it was definitely one of the reasons. But we did it. It was very mutual. It wasn't. There was no anger. She's still one of my good friends, and she's part of the trans community. And I will defend that community. I would give my life for them. That is not a exaggeration. I lost my first Facebook account because I was on the Trevor Project's suicide page, and there were for troubled gay teens that get kicked out of their house, that are suicidal, and there were Christians on there condemning them to hell. And let's just say I had some very colorful phrasings that were community guidelines violations, that enough to get my account.
Community guideline violations. You've done at least 12 so far.
Yeah. Did I?
Yeah. TikTok's way stricter than fucking any other platform. But you know what? Around here, we don't give a fuck. You know why? Because they suppress us anyway. Look how many people we got in here.
Oh, I know. I knew this. That's why when you're like, well, I'm going to record it. I'm like, all right, well, because I know that they're not going to let anybody listen to it. Anytime.
Nope. But I'm going to use this for YouTube and for the Evolving Seeds website. This will go on our daily Evolving Seed daily media.
Oh, awesome.
And so we are actually talking to people in the future. And that's how I look at this shit. And while it rolls off the tongue so easily for me, because
heck yeah,
I know who I'm talking to. Hey, future, we tried.
Right. We were here.
Presenting another person that tried. I'm trying to present.
We were here, man, and we're not just saying it. It's called praxis, right? Like we're taking what we know, and we're just putting it into action, and that's all it is. Is like, well, I know people need stuff. They need basic necessities are food, shelter, water, and joy is a necessity in freaking life. Rest.
There's a 12-year-old boy watching a holographic fucking, this could be it. They're in it. And we call them ghosts in our world, but this motherfucker's from the future because it's full circle. This motherfucker's in the future, like, so you're telling me that they could just stop you? Like any motherfucker could just, like, all they needed was this magic amulet and a costume and they can stop you and take your life. Are you out? And they're watching this like, this can't be real, bro.
Right.
And then when we say that in the real world, like right now, he's standing right here, 1,000 years from now, looking back at unsustainability and what unsustainability used to be
Yeah.
like, and he's like, "Hey, bro, this fool over here just said it. He just said this can't be real, bro, and he knows." You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because
No, and I mean it isn't real. Like we only perceive like what is it? The eye only perceives like 4% of the actual like full spectrum of light. So
yeah,
like just think of that. Like 96% or whatever it is, like we don't see. And that's
and
just
they
like that's just not like regular, you know? The
still haven't
average
figured it
human.
out. They still haven't figured it out
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
sense, because the only reason why you would look at this shit is if you have any question as to what's going on in you would only need to refer, like, if you're living your life because we've achieved, perfect, not perfection, but utopia even. There's no way you're enjoying that shit. I mean, the theory is that if because there is some postulation on that even our reality could be just a component simulation for something that has already happened, and they're trying to figure it out. And it's just because when you look at these videos again, we don't have to get into that because that's a whole other conversation. But it is wild, especially, bro. This is what I'm about to tell you is a real sentence that came out of a whole scenario that came out of a TikTok live. I was there. I wasn't on the panel, but I was there, and then he took the video later and made it into a video. The live made it into a video. It was a dude back in the day, Mr. Jones, who got exposed on some other shit, had a panel of people up, and he asked a YT man, he said, if a potential presidential candidate had raped your wife or children, would you vote for them just because they had good policies that you agree with? And this man tried to put it on the LGBTQ and trans community 3 times, bro. And the host was like yelling at him. And this is a host that he wasn't like, he didn't yell too much. Motherfucker was like, bro, stop. We're in the real world right now. You're a real dude. I'm a real dude. We're right here. Would you vote for a presidential candidate who had raped your wife and or child just because they had good policies that you agree with? And he stuttered and then stumbled, and he was like, well, of course I would. I just don't see what the problem is. Like, what?
Like some people, I just don't.
He can't even really exist. That's next level. I ain't even never heard. Bro, I play GTA. It's the only game I play. I ain't never heard no NPC say that shit, which even means the NPCs got more sense than that.
It's just crazy to me that people like that. Like, it's hard for me to imagine a human being without compassion. But that's what a sociopath basically is.
Bro,
right? Like
there were 1,000. We understood that, though. Traditionally, we understood that there is all types of thought levels, and like people, if somebody's willing to chase you in the woods and unalive you for sport or whatever the fuck, or their own sick whatever, which people do all the time, we know that the human mind goes to some fucked up depths. But that, like, unlike this live that has a few people in it, Mr. Jones's live had consistently 1,000 people in it. He said that on a panel with 7 other people, the host, and 1.3K people in the comments. And he was real. He actually exists somewhere in the fucking world. Right. And he wasn't trolling.
No, he was being serious.
He wasn't trolling. He had been on that panel for like 45 minutes. They wasn't the type of place to just, you ain't going to keep 14K people entertaining mere trolls. The dude was there genuinely engaging, which was what made the whole situation so fucking scary, because he actually was being genuine, which means he's a genuine fucking human being out there. He may not be a genuine human being, but he genuinely exists.
Right.
And that is some scary fucking shit.
And if he exists, you know that he's not alone, that there's going to be other people that are like that or worse. And that's just it. It's like people that get excited about, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I will be excited when the day comes for Mr. Trump. But like, that's not going to end the problem, Like, that's what people aren't getting, is that, in fact, it may get worse, because now they saw what they can get away with him.
It will. And this is the thing. This is the comparison of activism mentalities, and why I have a bit of respect for my enemy, especially in how diabolical you can get an entire population to be. The people, the white nationalists that just marched wherever the fuck it was, Missouri or wherever the fuck.
Yeah.
I was in a panel on TikTok with all black panel, and they were talking about the merits of. We weren't talking about voting. They were talking about protesting, marching, and marching, more or less just protesting and marching, and how most of us know and agree that it doesn't do anything, right? And somebody made the point: if that fucking shit don't do anything, then why are the white nationalists doing it right now? Why would they be doing it if if it don't do nothing? And of course, there was some back and forth because they didn't see the glaring truth right in front of them, which was this: they're not appealing to their politician. That's the difference. Black people protesting out there would be more or less appealing to the system for addressing a redress of grievances and shit.
Yep.
The white nationalist that's marching out there is sending a signal flare to other white people and other white nationalists that we exist. We are willing to be out here doing the work that most of y'all have not or forgotten to do, in the sense of being physical in the presence of whatever you're advocating for, not guided by the masses in these no kings protest style protests, but actually boots on the ground activism with teeth. And so black people have decided that it's too dangerous for us to go out there and protest because it doesn't do anything for redress of grievances. That's not why you're supposed to be doing it. You're supposed to be doing it for the exact same reason the white nationalists are doing it, to show other black people that black people are out there in them streets doing the work on the ground, boots on the ground activists. They're out there doing it. And we see them in certain videos, the black militia groups that they're not malicious. I can't call them that, but when they're walking down the street, they're very militant and they got the pew-pews and that. But if anybody who's protesting or marching shouldn't have ever been protesting or marching to get the attention of the the quote unquote leaders or the politicians or the system. You're supposed to be protesting for, sludge. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna bring Sludge up, and Sludge should definitely have mod powers. I don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, you can't bring yourself up.
Yeah,
Sludge. I don't know if you know. I'll never tell.
He does. He does.
Yeah, I figured. You know, Nan. You know. So yeah.
Yeah. We're all connected.
You guys can carry this. You guys can carry this because Sludge, you don't know what you got yourself into. You have to take on the next 10 minutes of this interview, and when we come back, I'm gonna catch. I'll never tell because I'm not going anywhere. I'm just gonna get myself nicely smooched up. And I'm probably going to grab a little bit to eat. But Sludge does interviewing humanity.
Yes, so, I've been on a couple of times. I do know Sludge.
Well, do it on my behalf, Sludge.
We've actually collaborated to get people care in different states and stuff.
Good.
Before you go to your thing, I just wanted to let you know I have a majority of the names of that white nationalist group that was fucking marching down the street.
See, hold on.
That's community right there.
I have to say this. Because I love Sludge and I love Sludge. And I love how Sludge operates. And here's the but. Sludge is a high functioning, high level activist that provides, and I'm not mad at you for providing space for the heart space. The heart space. But this motherfucker has military level activism. But when I go to Sludge's live, it's more heart. It's more heart space. I'm not mad. I just want,
Well, see, the problem is like I don't have a group of folks that will come through and help consistently maintain the environment of the live. So I end up just kind of like leaving it to whoever's in there. Like I haven't even done like interviewing humanity in like 6 months.
I know. I keep track of these things. We need to do things like this. We're doing Military Monday. So Military Morning Monday. That means we wake up, we're doing debriefings, all of us. It doesn't matter which live you go to, unless we're all in your live or one person, whoever gets the most traction, we're in that person's live. And we're doing Military Mondays, which is where we're doing debriefings on who they unalived last night and how that's affecting the morning, blah, blah, blah. By the afternoon, we're doing Mutual Aid Mondays. So now the whole time, all the topics for all of our lives is mutual aid, and it's from noon to 4. So if you're not on, whoever's not able to be on is fine. You can come in or engage in whoever is doing their mutual aid Monday. But it should be all of us, even if we're not going live together. If we can all separately pull traction for mutual aid Mondays. But when it comes to military Mondays, and it's a terrible word to use, my light awry Mondays, but there it is.
Militant Monday.
And that was that language I was talking about again, my light awry, military. But where we're doing, and maybe we just call it something else, like debriefing Mondays. So
Militant.
that's what it is. It's like we're in there because what that is, that I got the names of most of the motherfuckers that was in that march. I don't give a fuck because I'm actually very proud of these people. I really am. I'm proud of anybody about they shit. Anybody doing something. Just because you my enemy doesn't mean I can't have some respect and pride for you. I am proud that you are not, I'm not proud. I respect that you are proud enough of yourself to actually do something more than what these motherfuckers do up and down this motherfucking app.
Yeah.
I just have, as a black man even, I have to say that if I had to shake hands with one of those white nationalists or one of these fucking black people on TikTok wasting time talking about body count, I will shake the white nationalist hand. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Now there's a quote. I love it. And it's
the
truth,
white
though,
nationalist has the privilege to be a white nationalist. The black person does not have the privilege to waste fucking time at all on any. I can name any of these fucking topics, any of these discussions, even the most well-intentioned, even the most politically relevant, but you ain't doing shit, which is what this man is talking about. They ain't doing shit. And all of those things combined makes them way more putrid than a white nationalist, to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I've been trying to get people to like stick to a sort of schedule with subjects like what you were talking about, but I can't. I don't know what it is, man. I cannot get a core group of people to just function, and I think it's the adrenal fatigue, but I don't know.
It's unaliving Mark
I'm gonna stay
Passio.
on it every fucking day, but
Have you seen Mark lately?
no.
He is. I know this man is not hitting that pipe, but damned if he don't look like he is. He's so skinny. And it's because he can't even fathom it. And I know where he's at because I even had an awareness of it the other day where my forehead almost caved in and I was like, nope, I'm not accepting that. And it was basically just the realization that all of our efforts are in vain just because people are so fucked. And it's like, is it real for us? Like, how responsible are we to save the world if the only thing that will save it is for us to exit and take the full, like we all, like even myself, my partner will say, we're done, let's get out of this. I'm talking about to the point where you ain't worried about fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? How we gonna do this? I'm gonna go out into these woods and until that prospect is still on the table, which it is not. What are we really doing? And so it's just, but I'm worried about my man Mark, and I really want to encourage him. So, right. So you guys take over. I'm still going to be right here. You'll see me, but I also want this to be in the background. I might turn my camera around, but I'm actually about to puff and bite. So you guys go ahead. Sludge.
Gotcha.
I'll never tell. I'm right here.
All right. What's up, Sludge?
How have you been, man?
It's been just crazy. Like the whole Colorado, moving to Colorado experience was great. Was mystical almost. But like, it just needed to happen. It was like the opportunity was there, and at first I was just doing it to help out, and then afterwards I was just going to come back. And then I was just thinking about it more and more, and I'm like, why would I want to come? Like, what am I coming back to? And it's like I just got tired of just being seen as somebody that I no longer was, and like that's what happens when you're just in your old stomping grounds. Like everyone only sees you from like a certain era of your life. Mm-hmm. They don't see you for who you are. And like I wanted to be seen for who I am now, and it was like that means I need a fresh start. And the Colorado thing with Andy came through, and then I just jumped on it. I was like, if you're gonna do it, if you're serious, I'm serious. I couldn't do the full Ireland thing, but I was like, I could do all the stuff in the States for you, if you're willing to help out or whatever. And she did, and we did, and it was life-changing experience. And now I'm in Colorado, and we're converting this RV into I'm calling it MARV, mutual aid response vehicle, and we're gonna use it just to I don't know, unite the all the different mutual aid organizations and groups that are all around in the surrounding Colorado area, and at large, like the surrounding states too, and just try to get an actual network, like a functioning one that we can rely on each other, and the more the idea that I have is that the more connected we are to each other, as far as this mutual aid network, the less we're going to be dependent on capitalist measures in order to do so.
That's the mission I've been on too. Like, I spent pretty much all winter and spring connecting communities together and different mutual aid groups together. I mean, I got stuck out in the desert for like 2.5 months and still was connecting groups together and whatnot. But I think that's a great fucking idea. It's getting everybody connected. That network is fucking essential.
And you're one person, man, and that's the whole idea, is that we should be helping each other out. We should be doing similar things, all with the common goal of trying something different than this failing system that we're a part of right now. And that's really the crux of it, right? That we all can acknowledge that capitalism isn't working. And even if you do say it is working, you understand that there's problems with it, and you can identify problems with it. Well, and truly that's the first step. Then you just have to show the person that, yes, well, those problems existed every single iteration of capitalism that ever was. That's what this is the end result, is fascism or authoritarianism, or just this disgusting mess that we have right now. So if we can present to the world something different, and something that works, and something that provides human connection, which I think is the main issue right now in these communities, is that we're just so parasocial people now. This is great for what we're doing right now. Actually, this is what social media, I think, is designed to do, is what we're doing right now. But nothing beats human interaction and human contact. Human interaction is where where that synergy takes place, where that chemistry takes place, and where things are created. And this is the planning stage here. This is the board of directors, if you will, and if you want to get the capitalist bullshit terms. That's I'm glad that we're doing work to create a better world, and I'm not saying a perfect world. I'm just saying a better one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I 100% agree. The issue that I found, the hardest thing that I found about connecting all these communities together, is not just distance, but access to resource. Honestly,
yep,
all of us who are doing doing the thing and connecting people and taking care of communities and shit, we're also destitute.
Right, dude. Yeah, exactly. I carried everything that I could, and I gave everything away afterwards to move here. So I have 4 guitars. I brought all 4 guitars and as much clothes and hygiene as I could carry, and moved. And so but I mean, I have nothing, man. I gave my car to my best friend's parents. Former best friend. We kind of had a falling out. But I did. I got all. When they say you got nothing left to lose, I was like that already 6 months ago, and now I'm in Colorado, and I just want to make change, man. I want to do the thing, and see the progress, and see how it helps people, and I've already. I mean, the friends that I've made just through the mutual aid system alone, it proves to me that it works. Like it's not a matter of if it's going to work. It's just a matter of getting people on board and understanding what it is. And yeah, and it just starts there.
Absolutely. Hey, Crayons, how you doing?
Oh, hi, how you doing?
Alive. Good to see you again.
Yes, alive. Very, very much alive.
Yeah.
It's all I
How are
got,
things-
but
How are things on your end? Like, have you?
I can tell. I'll speak for her. She has a mutual aid request and a need for medicine, and she's started her job and she's got everything else taken care of, but she doesn't have enough money for medicine, and she has a mutual aid request. I have a video that I just put out for her, and we got you.
thank you, because I wasn't going to say all that.
Yeah, send that shit to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't check social medias very often. Like I check direct messages. I don't check fucking comments. I don't check fucking tags and videos. I like just send me.
I'll have to keep that in mind, Sludge. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I between what I'm doing on a daily and the needs that come with that, and the sheer amount of people that are constantly like sending me fucking stupid shit. Like I generally only check messages at this point. Like
I feel that. But it's good. I got a job delivering auto parts.
yeah, fuck yeah.
I'm like, that's cool because, I'm all about the old cars anyway. And, I'm like, it's a little bit of resistance if you think that we're not trying to go into the 2026 cars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stick around with the old cars, forget the ones with the kill switch and all that good stuff. No, I'm giving myself that, but it's actually it's a decent job. It's just driving, and it's not bad. I'm realizing how strong I still am because I'm lifting things that I didn't think I'd be able to lift at this point. That stuff's kind of cool. I'm moving out on Friday, and
where are you moving to?
Well, right now I'm just doing the motel room thing for about a month or two, unless I can get into a place that has utilities included, which is what I'm trying to get into. But if I totally get that. Yeah, if I can't get into it soon enough, then I'm just going to do the hotel room for a little bit. It's right across the street from where I work, so I won't have to worry about transportation and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing for now. But the good thing about a job is there's always another paycheck. So I'm just going to try to work it and possibly get a lift car and do that for a second job. So that way, not only will I not need money, but I'll be able to put back in the pot a little myself. So that's the plan. And otherwise, just trying to jump back in. It's hard to get on TikTok sometimes. Like, I haven't been able to get on this app much, like, in the last, at least 6 months. Like, I've been having issues getting on, staying on the app. Like, earlier, all I saw was your video, for me. And then I, reposted it or whatever. And then all the other videos just went black on me. I was like, what is going on? So I can never get on lives or anything. So I'm happy to be on here.
No, there's definitely something screwy going on with TikTok and the censorship. The censorship.
Hey.
So,
Hi.
Hi.
First things first, I want to say congratulations to Chaos. I also want to get your mutual aid request. I also want to get it on the website. I do want to go over a couple things for Evolving Seeds, and still, this is an interview for I'll Never Tell, but this is important because I wanted you guys to know. I don't know if Sledge ever saw this, and I don't know why it's buried at the bottom of the frequently asked questions of our website, but I want to cover parts of that, have you guys talk about them, and it's important that the only thing Evolving Seeds, that people say, well, what can we do to support Evolving Seeds? You guys have already done it. Some of you guys have done it twice, which is to subscribe. But if you can encourage other people to subscribe to Evolving Seeds, because it just emerges from itself. When Evolving Seeds has been laid out so well as a buffet of solutions-focused activism that when I am lost for what I should be researching regarding activism, I go to the website and I look up what's really what it's being presented there, so I can get myself abreast or aware of certain situations that are occurring. Hello, baby. But then also have little guy that is woke now, and that just turns everything out. I'm talking to Sludge and everybody.
Okay, I want to. I wanted
Yes.
to talk.
I love it. I love it.
Babies.
Yep.
Okay, and then so this section in the website, it's in the frequently asked questions section. I'm gonna bring it up because it's the very bottom, but this is very important. This is the structure that Evolving Seeds outlines because of activism. The ism part is a system. I did a presentation for the Natural Freedom Summit a couple days ago regarding this. It's a system of being active. So regarding how we present or how we operate when we are delivering mutual aid support is very specific. This is the on the ground roots principles. The 4 principal pillars of Evolving Seeds on the ground services is service. Each letter of the seed stand for something. Service to the community, empathy with the individual and the environment, efficiency, and dedication. That's seed. And each section has a seed. So the donation section, the other sections, they have a seed, which is some of them like the environmentalism would be efficiency, efficacy, whatever, and they go on. But then this one, it says purpose. Evolving Seeds on the ground service exists to serve local and global communities by providing assistance with tasks that either our client is physically or mentally unable to do, is unable to financially afford with traditional labor services, and or they simply need some extra hands. This is even it. That's the other one. All right. So yeah, each one has a different one. Like the seed roots for Evolving Seeds founded and constructed on many self-evident principles that extend far beyond us as an organization or a business. We plant the seed, SEED, scientific. This is the one I was looking for. So it'll be very easy for me to go through this now. Evolving Seeds roots, the roots of the whole organization, not any one specific aspect, even though each specific aspect is broken down more. Principles. Evolving Seeds is founded and constructed on many self-evident principles that extend far beyond us as an organization or business. We plant the seed, SEED. Scientific methods, service, sustainability, solutions. E, empathy, equity, efficiency, effort, excellence. E, earth, environment, ecology, energy. D, dedication, diligence, development, discovery. Those are the seeds. Purpose. Evolving Seeds exists quite simply to realize environmental equilibrium and social equity, to improve the general quality of life for all beings that share this host planet, and give individuals the tools to save themselves and the planet Earth. There is so much and so little that we can say here that we will let our work, our website, and our way of life speak for itself. And so that was what I wanted to lay out, is that those seeds, scientific method, service, because there are certain prerequisites. Like one of the things we talk about is how when we're delivering service, we won't talk about politics and religion while we're giving resources. When we were in Houston during Hurricane Harvey, we would be out there, scraping shit off people's walls, scraping mold off people's walls, carrying out their shit. And we're, with the fucking 7 dwarves hard. Oh, we're getting fucking shit done. And then somebody says, "Who'd you vote for?" It's like, and then now we're going way slower than we were a minute ago. Now the bags that were being passed through each other, they're coming away. They're discombobulated. They're wavy, and they're being half thrown to me. I'm having to put extra weight on this side because he barely talks to me because he's pissed off now, and it's not conducive. So it's not that we shouldn't have those conversations. It's that those conversations shouldn't be had on the ground. That's what we described. A site, a specific situation on the ground. That's why we talk about clocked in. I did a video yesterday called Clocked In. And this language again, if you're clocked in, you're locked in. They go together. Like if you're clocked in, you're locked in. And I'm always clocked in because this is my real job. My real career is fucking destroying supremacy, all forms of supremacy. Not just white supremacy, male supremacy, fucking human supremacy, interpersonal supremacy, me. So this is just how we've laid this out. This is available on the website. It's a little bit reverse organized. And actually, now that I realized I was in the wrong spot, I think I'm so backwards that I feel like it's in the wrong spot. It's actually in the right spot. It's right at the top. I was looking in the wrong spot. And I did have the other questions for I'll Never Tell.
Yeah.
I had, and this is an important question, and here it is. What do you feel guilty about? The very next question is very awesome, though. You'll love it.
The guilt thing is let's just say an ongoing struggle for me is the amount of guilt that I put on myself for not, and it is definitely a byproduct of capitalism. But the guilt I have is the byproduct of not performing to a certain way or a certain quota or marker in my head, and like shame and is another close relative to that, of where the guilt and shame kind of show up together, and they can do a number on your mind if you're not strong enough to be able to understand what they are. They sound very accusatory and very harsh because it's internalized. But the truth of the matter is that they're protecting. It's a form of self-protection that is gone awry. It's just gone overboard, and that's where the guilt comes in. Is like this way of like, well, I feel like I should be doing more, and it's just I've had that issue my entire life, is dealing with the guilt. And what I try to do the most is not make it into which a lot of people do as well, is turn it into like a savior complex, where like the guilt, now I'm going to save everybody no matter what. And I'm a certified recovery coach, and in my recovery coach training, that's one of the first things they dispel, is just like, you're not a savior. You're not here to save anybody. You're here to help people. Like, and that's what you have to understand, is that you're offering help and a service to people. If they are not willing to accept that service, that's not on you. But when you're dealing with addiction and people choose the addiction and then their lives end, and you were trying to help them, it does affect you.
And you said, what kind of coach is it? Or you said, what was the name?
It's called a recovery coach. It's a CSRW is the name of the degree, or CRSW, Certified Recovery Service Worker, I think is it. But yeah, it's just a crazy thing, because like that's what really taught me not to take on the guilt, and that it's called staying in your lane, and just understanding that like you're just it's just you're just doing what you can. And in this line of work that we're all in, it's important that we understand our boundaries and our limits too, because there's a line where you want to be able to help people, and you wish you had the resources to be able to do it, but you don't. And the guilt can come on, like you wish you could do it, but you can't, because you lack. And then before you know it, you're in this lack mentality, and you're not helping anything, and you're depressed. Guilt is such a powerful emotion when it's turned inward.
Right. Because I'm looking, and so what I just was typing while you're talking is point of action, a point. Because Nan called me yesterday. We've been talking the last couple of days.
Good.
And Nan was like, what does Evolving Seeds have as things that need to be done in Alamosa and in this area? And I was like that we only have litter, like waste initiatives, things that we can do to pick up trash and clean up the environment. Because it's so rural, there's not a lot of people that we have access to know their actual conditions. Even though we do go out in the community and we do pick up trash and we do engage with the community very openly, I always have this. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I have a lanyard that has Evolving Seeds, and I'd love for you to take one of these. but I'm, and I go
Absolutely.
out and thank you, and I present people to because it's all there, but I do point them in the direction of our mutual aid services. But there are, as I told Nan on the phone, there's a bunch of people out here who suffer from substance abuse, and there's a place called La Puente. I always get it wrong, but it's La Puente, which is the homeless shelter and the halfway house, or it's a couple different things, but it's ran by the same people who do the food bank and the animal shelter, and this is not a government organization, but merely a local, like the oldest organization of these things. And I volunteer. I was signed up, and I am still signed up to volunteer at the food bank inside of this whole organization, so I could volunteer at any of them. But the last time I went to go volunteer there, the very first day that I went to go sign up, my brother died that day, like 3 hours after I got off. Yep. So I haven't been back since, and it's not because I don't want to go. It's just like I'm still fucked. Still fucked.
Healing takes time, man.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna get back down there because I don't have, and it's super weird how it happened too. Because there's 3 other situations where somebody that I knew from the past showed up the day that something really bad happened with my brother that led up to him dying, and then the day he died, I saw this lady at the food bank that I hadn't seen since the first time I came to Colorado. A very important person, so like one of the only other Black people out here, and the fact that she was Black and that I saw her, I knew, bro. I knew when I got home. I was pacing. Because I got up 7 o'clock that morning and we've been up all day picking up trash and going to volunteer at the food bank and doing all this great shit, doing my life path and been the full flow. And then I got home and I was pacing around the house, and my wife was like, "Why are you still awake? Why don't you go to sleep?" And I was like, "I don't know. I feel like I'm waiting for something." And as soon as I said that shit, I got a text. As soon as I said that shit. So I will be going back to the food bank. I even went there. I mean, we go to get food. But
Right.
I haven't gone to volunteer there. And our food bank is beautiful, and it's just being there. And even the day that I went, I even have it as a video, like the video of me cleaning. It's like I'm just happy and oblivious, and then like, but I knew because that's all I think about. When my brother was alive, that's all I was thinking about was the fact that he had gotten taken and put in that home. So I knew that was a possibility, and I had been preparing myself for it, and he had been preparing me for it my whole life. So here I am. Most people don't know that even the day after, 2 days, 3, 4, 5 days later, I didn't even take off of work.
Jeez,
the fuck I look like? The fuck I look like? I'm not that. But that's not who my brother and who I am, and from who my brother helped me become. I wish the fuck I would. Not only am I going to work, but I'ma still do what the fuck I gotta do. I might be bawling in tears while I'm fucking doing it, but I'm fucking doing it because why not? I could be bawling.
It sometimes
in tears
works as a distraction, right? Like if you're working and your mind's not on that.
And it wasn't like and this is the thing, and how I even still am able to joke around, have a smile on my face now, is because there's no reason. Like my brother gave me the greatest gift a motherfucker could give a motherfucker ever in history ever. If somebody can ball the entire truth up of the universe and give it to you in the palm of their hand, my brother was nonverbal. And anything you're going to find evolving seeds, which is damn near fucking flawlessness. Even the right equation is something that started with a recognition of him. The right equation. And I'll tell you it now since we got everybody up here. I have this equation that I've laid out that describes that authority vested in strangers is inherently illegitimate because of one simple principle. Well, 2 simple principles. One, we're all equal under the law, presumably. And we are, but we are equal under the law. And I know why we're equal under the law. We can get to that later on some other existential shit. But we're all equal under the law. The other principle is called proper delegation. You cannot properly delegate a right that you don't have. So the right equation is R times B equals N. R is the right times B, the number of beings, or the beings, equals N, the number of beings with that right. However many beings in R, how many people have the right to read, is the amount of beings that have the right to read. There's the right, which is to read, multiplied by the number of beings, equals the number of beings who can read.
Right.
All of them. And it also works in the inverse, if you fill it in, 0 right. If there's 0 right to violate bodily autonomy and consent, then the number of beings that have that right is zero. You can't multiply something that doesn't exist. If we all can objectively, for a myriad, especially through the apophatic method, I know I don't have the right to violate you because I can't prove that I have that right by any scientific measure. I just don't. I
Absolutely.
can't. And so if individuals can't prove the right to violate bodily autonomy and consent for any reason other in defense, which would still not even be the same thing, of a violation of bodily autonomy and consent, then that right cannot be properly delegated, which means government can't exist anyway. You can have societal organization, but you can't have gubermentos because in Latin, gubern means to control and mens mentos means the mind. So you can't have, and it would follow because, of course, knowledge is better than deception. If you control a population through deception, that's never as well or efficient or beneficial or conducive, sustainable. That's the word I was looking for. That's never going to be more sustainable than a society ruled by truth.
No, it's
So
facts.
government, and that's something I had to prove to myself. This is the only thing I've cared about since I was born. My mom whooped my ass when I was 4 years old, and I literally verbatim told her, I turned around while I was still getting hit with the belt, and I said, "You're not an authority over me. You're supposed to be my guide." Because I knew what the fuck was going on. I knew that nobody had authority over me, not even my own mama, because I didn't have authority over her. And they had already told me they were equal under the law. I had already heard that. I had already recognized that that was the objective and inalienable truth because I literally cannot go get you some evidence of why I would be able to force a dictation from me onto anybody. So how could anybody else do the same? How could anybody else provide? And I've been offering $1,000 for anybody who can give me a shred of evidence as to the legitimacy of authority vested in strangers, and I still, after 15 years, got my fucking $1,000. Nobody's even ever fucking tried once they heard me say this.
Well, there's a reason behind that, huh?
We had to prove that shit.
By the
and
way,
then the other question. Go ahead.
Before
Sorry.
you ask the other question, are you part of the Mutual Aid Monday group from out of Denver?
No,
I got
wasn't
added
even
to
aware.
a group. I got added to a group in Signal, Mutual Aid Monday, and they meet in Denver and meet the needs of the people there. So there's somebody that their group text keeps popping up on my phone while we're doing this live. So I feel like I just want, because you're a Colorado resident, they're a good local
sure.
connection, and I can add you to that group after the
Please
call.
do. And I already typed it in. I got the other one because I actually want to add you to Evolving Seed staff as a recovery coach, not in the sense of I know you have your certification.
No, and that's I openly say it, like if you know anybody that's trying to get help and there's wait lists, all the clinical shit is like, institutionalized stuff. So like it's all wait lists and they don't give a shit about the humanity of a person. A coach is somebody who can help. I mean, I still remember my resources. I don't know about, they vary state to state, but I have people that I can call to find out for the state what their resources are. And, I can give it, I can help. So like it's important. New Hampshire had one of the biggest heroin epidemics in the country in like 2018, I think it was. And my brother Matthew, my youngest brother, is addicted to heroin. So that's what kind of inspired me to become a recovery coach, was that maybe someday, if he wanted to get help, he wouldn't have to go far. Like he would have at least family that would be able to help him. But as it is with most people addicted or with substance use disorders, or just some kind of, something's off where they need to fill a void, they choose that. They choose to fill the void with the substance rather than with human connection, because I'm a firm believer that human connection can cure most things. We pay for psychologists to talk to them as if they were our best friends, to do exactly what we're doing right now. Well, we would be paying a therapist to be listening to us. And
get back to work.
Right. And then just to get medication, which is another thing that divides us and separates us. Yeah, and not to say all the time, but like we are one of the most like overly and poorly medicated countries in the world, because like you can just take advantage of the system, and the system almost supports it. You know, like with the exception of opiates, which I'm thankful they finally are catching up on that, but like everything else is just you know, we're the only country in the world that advertises you know, narcotics and medicine, and like openly and throws like, you know, little angelic voices behind the name of the medication so that we don't think of it as harmful or
the commercials alone are just weird as fuck.
Aren't they, man? And then like if you talk to anybody else from another country, they're like, why the hell would you guys have
the
those
names are fucking weird.
Yeah.
Zolverdon. They sound like Egyptian or Greek and Cometian gods.
WeGovy, WeGovy, which there's a WeGov website. I was like, I don't know, man. Like maybe the CIA is just getting a little lazy on their on what they're calling stuff.
Man. They know that they've already done the work. Like the wheels of stupidity are fucking in full motion, so they don't have to flame it. I do edit a video of a fucking Matador style guy in some country running around. It's an annual thing that they do, and I don't know like if they know what this really means. I think they do, because I'm not going to disgrace people or discredit them, the full implications of what this is. But the guy gets the first bull to chase him around. There's like fucking 100 bulls or like 60 bulls, but he gets the first one to chase him, and then the bull's chasing him, and then they all start chasing that bull, and he gets them going, and then he moves out the way, and these niggas never stop. They just never stop. Nobody has to do anything. Nobody has to touch them. Nobody has to make sounds. Woo, 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 giddy up. None of that shit. They just keep going in that circle. And nobody can tell which one the fucking lead bull was anymore. That's revelational in and of itself.
Yeah. Wild, dude. Wild.
Man, I'm telling you, if I can find that video, I'll tag you in it, because I'm just staring at it like people on Earth know about this and they haven't figured it out. Because I can sum up Evolving Seeds' entire premise, our entire purpose is to get everybody to realize, well, obviously to provide aid and assistance wherever we can, but to realize that society, civilization, tradition, authority, and culture are all various forms of one unifying concept of a cult. Anything pervaded through violence, coercion, exploitation, duress is unsustainable and hence objectively, scientifically illegitimate.
Right.
Doesn't have a prayer. If it's based in violence and unsustainability, it has no legitimacy. Zero.
Yeah. With humanity, it should not be an option. But unfortunately, that seems to be like not only the direction we're going, we're flooring it in that direction. You know, like.
The other question that I have for you is, because I did ask you what you feel guilty about, and your question, that answer was flawless. Yeah. Notice that I want my black audience to notice that this motherfucker did not say anything about being guilty or feeling or not my black audience, my white audience. Later on, who see this video, because the people here are in the know, but later on to be aware, the white people, this man didn't say nothing about black people the entire time. He was talking about guilt, processing it, understanding his guilt, the way he feels about any guilt that he might have, shame. None of that had anything to do with him being white or black people existing at all. It was about the nature of the situation, how I've responded to it, how I could have responded to it better, period. What are you most proud of?
Most proud of? Definitely my work with mutual aid and with the connections that I've made along the way, and just the idea that when I really trace it back, and this even goes back as far as even in my Christianity, I've always been a strong supporter of community and the idea of people taking care of others and taking care of each other. And so, just that idea of community being the source of the resource, you know, like each other being the resource. And my proudest things, like I've lived so many different lives. So as a musician, my proudest moments is that I've played with some of my favorite punk bands, some of my most influential ones, and scratched the itch of wanting to go on tour. I went on a full 6-week US tour and did a Midwest 4-week tour in 2009 and 2010, and that was for music. For this now, I'm proud of what tomorrow can bring with this work. Is what it is. The potential of like that all of us coming together and being able to create not only just change, but like create a new world and just start functioning in it like we're supposed to. And what's going to happen is it'll be a few of us in the very beginning, and it's going to be very scarce. But once people start catching on to the fact that we're doing it and that it's manageable and that's doable, it's going to change the world. And I'm just proud of the people that I know right now that are on the ground level, trying to create that world. And my pride is never directed just at me, because my beliefs, political beliefs, whatever you want to call it, I was even laughing about the idea of like hive mind mentality, and using that as my pronouns is like we and our, so that I'm always talking about the people, and that it's my decisions always a collective based one and not just solely an individual based one. And I think that's what I'm proud of, is the work that we're engaging in now, and that we're going to be engaging in the future.
Hell yeah. Thank you. I had my son. I already knew him. He's coming, so I was able to mute up fast. He's laughing. And is there anything specific? What started you on your path through, and what do you consider yourself an activist, and what got you started on your path to activism? I'm going to go apparently look at a structure, but I will be listening. And Sludge, if you could pick it up with any questions you may have to follow up anything that is said. I have my
What was the
headphones
question?
on.
What was the question? One more time before you go.
What started you on your path to activism, as far as an accolade that you could point to and be like, this is when I was like, nah, this is what my life is about now?
Okay. So I'm a self-published author of a memoir of basically all the worst experiences in my life I've had with the various institutions that we rely on. I committed 1 year to do it with a writing coach, and this is related to the question, just so you know. And it was my book. My book was supposed to come out, I believe it was November 13th, and then while I'm in the very final stages of setting up this book and like getting really excited about it, October 7th happens. So like a month before my book comes out, that happens, and then the G-side begins, and before I know it, I'm looking at some of the most horrific things, just as the people in this live are looking at me right now. I was looking at the horror that Palestine was going through, and it broke me. It still has. It's been like, I can't even look at the videos anymore because it just isn't healthy for me. I get too upset. I've lost too many accounts saying the truth to Zionism and to the people that support it. And it radicalized me almost instantaneously, because I realized in that moment I couldn't pursue the book anymore, because I didn't want to do I didn't want that. I had to do my own marketing. I had to sell my own stuff, and I'm not a capitalist. So I didn't want to make this thing into something that generates me money. I just couldn't see it. Every time someone wanted to buy the book, I just gave it to them for free. And so I was just left with this mentality of like, the world is gone and nobody like, and then I'm watching the news, seeing it I'm seeing it live happening on TikTok live, and then I'm going watching it on the news, and I'm seeing otherwise. And so after a while, you start to say, well, maybe it's time for something different to happen. and maybe there's a way that we could stop it. And you go through all the liberal mindsets and all the things that you know, and then when you realize that they're all compromised and that they're all part of it, and that then that's where you fully deconstruct, and the conscious awareness comes in, and you start realizing that, like, no, you have to be the change. I don't consider myself an activist. I consider myself a revolutionary. I'm not in this just for one cause. I want revolutionary change, and I'm not willing to. I am willing to give my life for that change to take place. And so it's a lot more of the heart for me, for what I for why I do this. I want a better world. I've been imagining this better world since I was a child, and I'm tired of waiting for it to appear. It's time for me to create it, and that's basically
right. And the only reason why I fuck with activism as a term is because I know that these fuckers bastardize words. There's legalese. There's the way that they use words. There's the way people commonly understand them. They think, I tell people that government means mind control. They don't want to accept that mentos means instrument when the mind is an instrument, and things like that. But activism is the science of revolution. It's the science of, because it's the system part. And a system is objective. That's what I love about systems, is that even though they may be even systems that are constructs, they definitely function in the objective world when they are functioning. Activism, when we look at how the prerequisites, such as the fact that there's the hierarchy of activism, that I can put up on the background, but my son wants me to make him breakfast at the same time. There is the hierarchy of activism. At the bottom is activists for truth, then activists for self, then activists for family, then activists for community, then activists for global host. Because there's principles to it, it is the foundational way. It's not that I couldn't identify certain revolutionary principles, but activism, the way they've bastardized the word, when you look it up on Google, it says something like someone who campaigns for political change, like it has something to do, like you were saying, with a specific cause. But activism, if there's somebody out there who weighs 212 and they want to lose weight, and they take any kind of effort to losing weight, and they weigh 211 the next fucking day, they're an activist.
Right.
Period, point blank. So 100%. That's why we have the 3 seeds, is because activism is for self. So if you're going to be a revolutionary for self, it's going to come with activism, because it's going to come with a structured system of being active toward those goals. 100%. That's the only reason why so that's the only, and I know my people when I see them, and I know people who are against the term activism because of what they've done to it. But think about how many things they do that to. Look what they did to woke. You're old enough to know what woke really means. Stay woke, my brother.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You see what they did to woke? Effortlessly. I mean, they own the fucking title to that shit now. They got the copyright on woke now.
Dude, that's how I felt about when I left Christianity. I was like, I don't like that word. Like it's not what it no longer means what it's supposed to mean. It's like when I look at an American flag, like I get disgusted when I see one. I don't see one and go, man, America is such a beautiful country. I go, that's a sign of oppression, and just remind, like, everything that is wrong with the world right now currently is a result of that flag, and everything that it stands for is a lie, and the truth is you have to pull the curtain back in order to see it.
Right, and I actually have a term. I don't even know if I can say it on here. I've said it before. It's a play on a slur for a different demographic, but I call them flaggets. Flaggets. I don't care what flag it is, honestly. I do not like nationalists of any kind. I don't like nations. I don't like like Albert Einstein said, and this is how long I've been aware of these factors. The first time I heard Albert Einstein's quote, "Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind," I was like,
Yeah. So why are
Yeah.
y'all? Why are we doing this? Why did I learn that in a
Right.
place that tries to get me to say? You know how many times I got in trouble for not saying the pledge? They tried to expel me for not saying the pledge back in the day. That's how long I haven't been doing it. I've never said the Pledge of Allegiance a single time in my life. Never
Right,
stood for
right,
the
right.
national anthem a single time in my life. None of that shit. I deliberately sit there and look super annoyed. Can't do it.
Yeah, like I could totally understand that. I respect people that do it now more than ever. But uh, liberal
It was
mindsets
dangerous
and
when I did it.
neoliberalism is a toxic thing, and that is really where exiting that mindset of the neolib mindset that our media kind of enforces on us. It's kind of the first step of like conscious awareness, because once you're realizing that what you're being given and being shown isn't real, then it's you start saying, well, then what is real? Right?
That
And
is
then
not real. But
all those questions. What?
I said, yeah, what is not real? What is
Right,
not
right, right,
real?
right, right. That's exactly what is real. What is it? And then when you start asking those questions, the reality is a very, very, very ugly picture. And the fact that you're a citizen of it, it's like, no. And it's a one thing that I will say that until recently I didn't believe it, but like even the Israeli people are protesting and revolting against their government. So similar to what you were saying with the who I call the KKK with the updated uniform that were marching through the street. And you could respect them for their organization and their willingness to just go and be an activist for what they believe in. I have that same belief for them. It's just a messed up world, man. It's the more you peel it back, the more you're like, all right, I get it. I don't need to see it. I really I get it. Like it just needs to scrap it all. Yes, Constitution included. I don't want a document that was written by slave owners. Like, why would I want that? In what world is that going to be? Everybody's going to be free now. Oh, we made amendments, man. We made amendments. Yeah, amendments because women weren't viewed as like a full person, and neither were black people. Like you had to make an amendment for that fact. Maybe we should be looking at the document a little bit differently than if we have to make amendments so that all human beings are viewed as human beings. And even then, it's not that was a lie. Like the scrap the whole thing. We'll do it. Let me take care of it. I'll come up with a better version than this for now. Because like if I could treat people with equality, regardless of how they look, like how is it that we can't? How is it that we can look at somebody different and just immediately be like, well, they're less than me? But that's the culture. That's the freaking culture now. It's like that's the way we look at people. Like that's why mutual aid is going to change that, because mutual aid forces us to and I'm gonna give another example that I read Mutual Aid in Evolution by Kropotkin, and he throughout that entire book, the one thing that stands out above everything is that every other creature, from the beetle to an ant to like the birds in the sky, they all have mutual assistance that they offer to one another naturally whenever there's a need. Human beings are the only species that doesn't. We're the only ones because we have the willpower to say, I don't want to do that. Every other society in nature has something that they mutually depend on in some way, shape, or form, or at least by the majority. And then there's human beings who we willingly choose to let someone suffer. We willingly choose to not help. We willingly choose ourselves over others, and that's what's got to change. If we want that's the core cancer in our in that culture that we were talking about, in that petri dish that we have here in the United States. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's we got to get rid of the individualist mindset. The only time individualism should take place is when it's self-care. That's when we think about ourselves, when we love on ourselves. Outside of
Well,
that,
there's a difference.
yeah.
There's a difference between individualism and individuality, and that's what they're trying to obfuscate. Individualism is a system of everybody operating like an individual, whereas individuality is individuals collaborating and cooperating
Yes.
and collectively engaging in a system. There's a
I
difference,
like
and
that.
we can have individuality without individualism.
I like that, and it definitely, and like you were just saying, the ism is the thing because it's a actual system that empowers the individual. So that's why collectivism is the thing that I try to do of like I want the collective to be I want a system for the collective to be able to be empowered so that they don't have to rely on this failing capitalist nonsense anymore, and that they can put their faith in a system that they know works because they're a part of it. They're participating in it. It's no longer just this like it's a theory. Like, the praxis is the thing I'm going to focus on. There's so much leftist infighting over the most ridiculous things. There are lives that go on sometimes just over theory. And it's like, it's great. I'm glad that it's important. Education is definitely important, but education that's just focused on education without praxis is a waste of fucking time. And you could be the smartest person in the world who did absolutely nothing. And what does that make you? Like, where did your wisdom bring you? What did it bring? It might have brought something to yourself, but wisdom isn't supposed to be just self-consumed. It's supposed to be something shared. It's supposed to be something that grows. And I believe mutual aid is going to be the path that we're going to take so that people understand and learn through experience that we don't need capitalism. We don't need it. We've never needed it. And now we have another means to change it.
Oh yeah, and that goes into our plan. What our Evolving Seeds main focus is getting research teams together to essentially form a cooperative that will own and form an app, a social networking, social organizing app to replace this suppressive, supremacist, grossly fucking white supremacist app.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I'm hoping for too. I keep saying like every one of my videos that I make that are just like they're called the 7-second viral videos. Like if you do something like with a popular song for 7 seconds, you can put any message on there and you'll get views, right? So like I've been doing it, but just for like really, really hard issues. So the first one was like they were the Delaney. I think it was Delaney Hall. I was just saying like the first report of it of ICE of something terrible happening there, and they pulled it. And now they just did the same thing for me again with I made fun of the fact that a certain really old turtle-looking senator is brain dead now, and that they found him unresponsive. I celebrate the passing. I celebrate the passing of evil.
Dead for 22 days.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I know they're like, yep, Mitch McConnell is brain dead. I'm like, I'm glad science finally caught up to what I knew 10 years ago. Like the dude was brain dead long before that, long before he just lost brain function. And the thing is this. The reason why there's a saying, and they don't know who the real person is that said it, but like to paraphrase it, the only way for evil to flourish is for good people to do nothing. And that's what the United States has been doing for most of the time. We allow evil to flourish because good people decide not to do anything. We have to change that mindset if we want this new world, if we want this world outside of capitalism, outside of the debts, outside of landlords, outside of mortgages,
Yeah, hello, beautiful people. How we doing?
We doing.
Hey, Canna, I love you.
Hi, Sledge. Hi, Seeds. Hi, I'll never tell. It's been I haven't seen you alive in a minute.
Yes, it's been a while, and now that I'm in a Colorado resident, I'm making my connections, and crawling out of my hole and coming to the live world again.
I heard Nan was telling me a little bit about that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Time to make some work and make some changes, and create a new world that we all can benefit from.
And that's why we need an actual, because we have an education problem, we have a coordination problem, we have an organization problem, and a lot of these problems, we have a poverty problem, we have a lack of access to the bare necessities problem. A lot of those problems could be solved with a decentralized app. Imagine if we were on an app right now, and that app being on it, interacting with it, gifts that we exchanged. You sent somebody $1 as a gift. They get the 95 cents, 95% of the gift, and 5 cents goes to the cooperative, the communities. Because the whole purpose of the app and the revenue from the app goes to facilitating real world communities. If you're a member of the app, you are a member of the communities by virtue. And then everything functions like a fucking library.
Right.
They made $63 billion. TikTok made $63 billion in 2023 alone. If you divide that up into, you can make around 2,000 communities if each community is $25 million to make. And we know that through better building means and sustainable infrastructures, it ain't going to cost nearly that much to form giant fucking communities. So that's our plan. It's very cyclical. I'll put the background up in a minute. I'm making our oatmeal, but
yeah, no worries, man, no worries.
Let's see. You guys can mush over it while we talk.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Don't eat. Well, I guess we got enough of them. You can eat them up. Is it doing what I want it to do? Jesus. Wow. This is why. Another reason TikTok is just highly inefficient too. Like, I push the button that gives me the option to go look at my pictures. I think the whole live is crashing now. Yep, it's
Being glitch-tastic. Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that nice?
Is he going? Yep, he's back. Okay. All right.
Okay, there he is.
there. It is. Let me see if I can put me in. Can you hear me? Let's see. Let's see if I click on somebody else.
There we go.
Then you want to
Oh shit! But I'm gonna move this so y'all can just see that. Yeah.
Cool.
almost ready.
So the app I call it Toil, Time of Your Life, to combat TikTok's waste your time name.
I like it.
Essentially, the app is where we would be on our lives. We would have our own profiles. We would have our own videos. We have our own content, music, whatever. But on the other side of that, it's also where you would go to reserve a place of dwelling, what I call pods. The whole concept is called gardens. All the communities collectively are called gardens. They would each have their own names, but they are collectively called gardens. And then when you would, and all of this is funded by the app, whether it's us selling aggregated surveys, not necessarily our data as individuals, but as aggregate, compiled data sets. Like, oh yeah, 50% of our members like this, and 50% of our members like this, and we can sell that data in aggregate and leave each other's actual individual data alone. But there's a myriad of ways that we can make money for the app, not including the common ways, but other investments. But essentially, 70% of the app's revenues go to building real world sustainable or geared towards sustainable infrastructure, and 30% goes to building sustainable, or at least geared to sustainable businesses that are operate in tangent with the community, so the community members aren't in the world we still live in today, aren't dependent on just some intercommunal intercommunal currency, but actually have access to the common dollar so that they can still engage in whatever emergencies or vacations or whatever the common dollar is still used for. They have access to that ability. Can you still hear me?
What? Yeah, I can still hear you. Yep.
Okay, just making sure because I'm trying to make sure I don't burn this oatmeal. It's actually pretty good that my kitchen echoes like this because it means the sound kind of carries. Because I've been told before that you can't hear me on live if I get too far away from my phone.
Yeah, it's echoing, but I can hear you.
Okay. And so that's how it functions. So 70%, and these are rough estimates, but 70% go into physical communities, which is still a lot of money for the communities. And it actually works demographic specific. It could be an app for just women if they're tired of men. It could be an app for just whatever demographic wants to fund an infrastructure for their community. You do it with an app. And I think this is how we're going to be doing things moving forward. And this is why they are using the same way they do everything. They took hip hop and turned it into what they've done. And they're turning the function of a social network into a circus instead of an organizing mechanism.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that we're doing this now and kind of turning that on its head.
Hell yeah! And because it gives us a lot of ability and access. And I actually hold on, give me 1 second.
Is it almost done?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost done.
I've waited.
And then let me see. I'm gonna put this up, and you won't be able to see it, but you will be able to hear it. Where is it?
Make it so much easier to get the communities the resources that they need. Like they can
Yeah.
just put up like a
The
request.
communication wise, that's always the issue. Is like, we don't want to always be just texting each other, but just to have the community with the access to the resources readily available in an app is the ideal situation given the technology we have, right?
Especially given how many of us are, neurodivergent, just having like a easy list and not need to go through like 200 messages to find.
Exactly.
If you on the app, when you go to eat in the community kitchen, it already gives you notification because you've put your favorite ingredients. You've put ingredients that you're allergic to into the app, and so it alerts you to those aspects before you even get there, and it keeps you updated on how much of the food is left in real time. Check this shit out.
That's crazy.
Uh-oh. Hold on. There we go.
So is this an app that you're designing now?
I'm trying to design it, but I haven't. That's why I need everybody else's help. Give me 1 second. Here it goes.
TOIL, Time of Your Life, pronounced TOIL, a community operating system for human development. A 10-minute vision presentation. Opening, reclaiming toil. For generations, the word toil has meant exhausting labor. It has described lives consumed by survival, where time is traded simply to make it to tomorrow. Our vision reclaims that word. TOIL, time of your life, pronounced toil, represents the opposite of unnecessary toil. It is a platform designed to help people spend less of their lives trapped in systems of unnecessary labor and more of their lives learning, creating, raising families, restoring ecosystems, building communities, expressing themselves, and participating in decisions that shape their future. Imagine if the most powerful social networking platform in the world wasn't designed to keep your attention. Imagine if it was designed to give your time back. Imagine opening one application and discovering opportunities instead of distractions, education instead of misinformation, participation instead of spectatorship, collaboration instead of competition, community instead of isolation. That is TOIL, time of your life. Not another social media platform, a community operating system. The challenge, humanity has never possessed more information, yet many people struggle to find meaningful ways to participate in improving their communities. People spend hours every day online. Yet many still struggle to find purpose, community.
Hold on, I'm gonna
education,
fast forward it because it's
mentorship,
better
volunteer
here.
opportunities.
Current free time schedule today.
It's so fucking low. But yeah, you guys talk. I'm gonna set it up actually so that it's actually loud enough.
Democratic development governance becomes something people practice continuously rather than occasionally. Members review proposals, join discussions, suggest improvements, participate in working groups. Review
I'm gonna
budgets,
bounce at 4:30 though,
audit
so I got
vote
15 more
transparent.
minutes.
Every member has a voice. Every decision
I got to remember to eat something.
learning becomes living. Education is no longer separated from life. Learning pathways include
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I got to bounce at 4:30 because I just realized I haven't eaten really anything today. So
No, you're
should
good for sure. We're still
probably
here.
should do
And,
that.
you know, I'm gonna cut the live soon anyway because I gotta go to work, but I gotta cook this food for this boy too.
I hear you. I hear you.
And hell yeah, thank you for coming.
Yeah, no worries. And this doesn't have to be the only one. I'll be a little bit more active on the lives now that I'm, for this purpose especially, just to kind of promote it and get the word out that there are organizations and people that are doing this.
Right. Hell yeah. And you can hear me, right?
Oh yeah, I can still hear you. Yep.
Okay, good, because I'm over here still doing. But yeah, and it's important that we do this, and I'm glad that I'm able to because I've been trying to get a lot of people to do interviews, and I haven't been able to get anybody doing them.
Yeah.
And I had a goal for a certain amount of interviews a month, and you're the only interview I've done the whole year so far. So
Dang.
other than as far as me, and I've been doing the work to get the interview set up, but it's just been what it is.
No, I'm glad that we got it done today, and that we talked on a bunch of different topics, and you're leaving us with toil right now is I think the best way to end it, because it shows us a possible future, which is basically, if we wanted to summarize what we've been talking about is creating that,
It's coming. Right. So yeah, enjoy this. Go do what you got to do. And
All right.
I'm gonna put it's actually on the speaker now, so it should be pretty loud instead of all quiet and shit.
Right on.
Hell yeah.
Now connected to Chromebook _37E.
US.
She stretched, made tea from herbs growing just outside her home, and enjoyed
Getting ahead
breakfast
of
on the
ourselves,
porch
right?
while watching neighbours.
opposite of unnecessary toil. It is opposite of unnecessary instead of misinformation, participation instead of spectatorship, collaboration instead of competition, community instead of isolation. That is TOYL, time of your life. Not another social media platform, a community operating system. The challenge, humanity has never possessed more information, yet many people struggle to find meaningful ways to participate in improving their communities. People spend hours every day online, yet many still struggle to find purpose, community, education, mentorship, volunteer opportunities, creative collaboration, transparent governance, mutual aid, economic opportunity, reliable information.
You want it?
We have communication platforms, educational platforms, video platforms, shopping platforms, employment platforms, streaming platforms, fundraising platforms, government platforms, messaging platforms. Yet they exist as disconnected ecosystems competing for our attention. TOYL brings them together into one integrated infrastructure designed around one simple question. How can technology help people build better lives together? The 4 pillars. Everything inside TOYL supports 4 interconnected forms of development. Individual development, helping people become healthier, wiser, more capable, and more connected through lifelong learning. Subjects include critical thinking, media literacy, scientific reasoning, financial literacy, communication, leadership, mental well-being, conflict resolution, ecological literacy, practical trades, health, ethics, civic participation, community development, helping neighborhoods organize themselves, food production, housing, transportation, volunteer coordination, childcare, elder care, mutual aid, emergency preparedness, festivals, community businesses, construction, infrastructure, education, shared resources. Ecological development, teaching communities how to restore rather than merely sustain. regenerative agriculture, renewable energy, water conservation, waste reduction, habitat restoration, food forests, native biodiversity, circular economies, climate resilience. Stewardship becomes a daily practice. Democratic development governance becomes something people practice continuously rather than occasionally. Members review proposals, join discussions, suggest improvements, participate in working groups, review budgets, monitor implementation, vote transparently. Every member has a voice. Every decision remains visible. Learning becomes living. Education is no longer separated from life. Learning pathways include history, comparative governance, media literacy, scientific literacy, ethics, environmental stewardship, legal systems, human rights, economics, architecture, agriculture, engineering, health, communication, financial literacy, conflict resolution, traditional ecological knowledge, indigenous governance traditions, cultural history, accessibility, community organizing. The platform encourages thoughtful examination of inherited assumptions, institutions, and historical systems while promoting respectful dialogue and evidence-based learning. Members are invited to explore diverse perspectives, including indigenous knowledge systems, restorative justice practices, and the evolution of civic institutions without prescribing a single ideological viewpoint. Every lesson immediately connects to action. Study filmmaking, document your community, study agriculture, join a food forest, study mediation, help resolve neighborhood conflicts, study engineering, build renewable infrastructure, study budgeting, review community proposals. Knowledge transforms into participation. Reimagining social networking. Everything people love about social networking still exists, but now every feature serves community development. Digital profiles. Profiles become living portfolios. Members showcase skills, creative work, volunteer history, organizations, community contributions, educational progress, professional experience, languages, projects, goals, garden community participation. Privacy settings remain fully controlled by the member. Popularity is no longer the primary metric. Participation becomes visible. Growth becomes visible. Contribution becomes visible. Community feed. Instead of algorithms maximizing attention, members organize information around purpose, browse by education, volunteer opportunities, community needs, science, arts, music, technology, environment, business, government, history, culture, construction, research, organizations, marketplace, mutual aid, local events. Members choose what matters. Video platform privilege, documentaries, tutorials, podcasts, music, comedy, animation, children's programming, historical archives, research, community updates, educational series. Every video connects directly to courses, organizations, volunteer opportunities, petitions, events, research, discussion, projects. Learning never ends when the video does. Short videos. Short-form content helps communities communicate quickly. Garden updates, construction progress, volunteer requests, science demonstrations, environmental observations, cooking, art, comedy, music, daily reflections. One short video becomes a doorway into real-world action. Live platform. Imagine live streams becoming public classrooms. Artists perform, scientists teach, farmers demonstrate. Community meetings remain transparent. Architects review neighborhood designs. Organizations present annual reports. Teachers host classes. Musicians perform concerts. Viewers immediately ask questions. Volunteer. Donate. Register. Join organizations. Participate. Every live stream becomes part of a permanent educational library. Creativity as infrastructure. Creativity is no longer treated as entertainment alone. It becomes community infrastructure. Artists, musicians, writers, filmmakers, architects, photographers, game developers, designers, craftspeople, engineers, researchers, educators, all receive dedicated ecosystems, portfolios, funding, mentorship, collaborative studios, festivals, competitions, publishing, exhibitions, marketplaces. Creative expression becomes one of society's most valuable public resources. Creator economy. Creators receive support through subscriptions, memberships, courses, books, marketplace sales, consulting, community sponsorships, digital gifts, educational grants, crowdfunding, cooperative enterprises, speaking engagements. Creators earn because communities value their contributions, not because algorithms favor sensationalism. Gifts. Digital gifts become meaningful investments. Support creators, fund scholarships, sponsor gardens, contribute to mutual aid, support restoration projects, purchase educational materials, fund community kitchens, Every gift strengthens real communities. Marketplace members exchange books, art, software, music, photography, furniture, seeds, plants, food products, engineering services, programming, education, design, construction, repair. Marketplace listings connect directly with community organizations and educational resources. Civic infrastructure communities organize, petitions, town halls, working groups, project management, volunteer coordination, fundraising, community budgets, transparency reports. Every organization has a living public profile displaying mission, leadership, financial transparency, volunteer opportunities, events, educational resources, impact reports, media, questions from members. Trust grows through transparency. Artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence becomes a collaborative assistant, helping members learn, translate, research, plan projects, summarize meetings, coordinate volunteers, improve accessibility, discover mentors, recommend opportunities, analyze sustainability. AI assists people. People make decisions. Hack security, privacy, and ownership. Members retain meaningful control over their information. They control privacy, identity, creative works, licensing choices, communications, data portability. Security includes encryption, multi-factor authentication, transparent permissions, security audits, role-based organizational access, disaster recovery. Creators retain ownership of their intellectual property unless they explicitly choose different licensing arrangements. From digital communities to garden communities. Everything within TOYL points toward real places. Garden communities represent the physical expression of the platform. The app organizes housing, transportation, community kitchens, food forests, healthcare directories, education, tool libraries, construction, renewable energy, festivals, environmental restoration, community businesses, governance, mutual aid. Every lesson eventually becomes something members build together. A day in the life. Imagine waking inside one of these garden communities. Maya enjoys breakfast overlooking orchards and gardens. Birds fill the morning air. Children ride bicycles beneath solar-lit pathways. Neighbors practice music, tend flowers, or simply enjoy the sunrise. She opens TOYL, pronounced toil. The app welcomes her. Good morning. Community health score, 97%. Volunteer opportunities nearby, 31. Current free time scheduled today, 8 hours. Community assembly tonight. The community kitchen needs 2 volunteers. Estimated time, 2 hours. She accepts. Instantly, the schedule updates for everyone. No managers, no supervisors, only transparent community needs. 2 enjoyable hours later, breakfast and lunch preparations are complete. The app thanks her. 2 hours contributed. Nearly 200 people served. Educational credits earned. Seed coins earned. More than 8 hours of personal time remain. Her responsibilities for the day are complete. She spends the afternoon kayaking with friends, attends a woodworking workshop, joins a photography walk documenting native wildlife, records educational content for Activism University, visits a community art exhibition. Later, she reviews proposals for a new greenhouse, expanded bicycle trails, accessibility improvements, and an inter-community arts festival. She votes, suggests improvements, helps shape tomorrow. Before bed, she reviews today's accomplishments. Thousands of volunteer hours, thousands of meals prepared, educational sessions completed, environmental restoration projects advanced, community businesses supported, new software features approved, average volunteer time about 2 hours, average personal time more than 8 hours. Technology has not demanded more of her life. It has helped return her life. The vision. The purpose of TOYL is not to keep people inside an application. Its purpose is to help people leave the screen better
if you don't want to finish it, I'll take it
around them. Every profile becomes a portfolio of growth. Every video becomes a lesson. Every live stream becomes a classroom. Every creator becomes a teacher. Every artist becomes a community builder. Every engineer becomes a steward. Every garden becomes a classroom. Every neighborhood becomes a campus. Every member becomes both student and mentor. Technology quietly organizes the complexity. People build the future together. The journey remains simple. Learn, reflect, create, collaborate, participate, build, share, grow. That is TOYL, time of your life. A world with less unnecessary toil and more time of your life.
A day in the life, living with TOYL in a garden community. The morning sun slowly